everyone, this is Music Tech Help Guy, and in this video, we're going to take a quick break from the acoustic drummers and talk about the electronic drummers in Logic Pro 11. The interface for the electronic drummers is very similar to the session percussionist interface we covered in the last video, which is why I covered that first, but the instrument that powers the electronic drummers is Drum Machine Designer. So in addition to breaking down the electronic drummers in this video, I'll also show you how to customize the sound of your DMD kits, swapping out samples from Logic's library and incorporating your own external samples as well. Before we get started, I want to quickly tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Boombox. Boombox is an innovative platform for file storage, sharing, and collaboration for bands, musicians, artists, producers, and mix engineers. Upload audio files, stems, mix bounces, and even entire DAW sessions. Collaborators have the ability to leave timestamped feedback and voice recordings on the tracks, and you can securely limit access to only the collaborators you want to work on each project. And Boombox is more than just file storage. They offer a full suite of collaborative tools, a virtual co-writer called Boombot AI, which can separate stems from a stereo file, it can remove vocals, and it can even generate musical ideas for you. Create personalized artist pages with your own branding, find new collaborators and clients. Head over to boombox.io today to get 4 GB of free storage or upgrade to one of their premium plans for more storage capacity and additional pro-grade features. Let's start off with the trap drummer. Click create, and you'll notice that the interface is a little different. You'll also see that on this track, we have Drum Machine Designer powering this instrument. And just to kind of make this sound believable, let's pull in some loops or something for the drummer to play along to. So I'm going to drag in this altered state arpeggio and this altered state sub bass, and I'm going to go ahead and loop that out a few times here and here. And if you didn't know this already, you can press Control L to convert your loops to real copies. Let's start the beat right here at bar 3. So let's see what this sounds like. And just like the acoustic drummers, there are different pattern presets up here you can start with. Let's start over here. And let's say that I want the kick and snare and claps to match up with the 808 sub bass down here. Well, all you got to do is go down here, click here to follow the track, and then select that loop. So I'll select altered state sub bass, and this will alter the kick and snare pattern to match up with that loop. Okay, so just like the acoustic drummers, you can adjust the complexity and intensity of the beat. So if I want something really simple and soft, I can pull these down. I'll pull these up. Pulling up the complexity will give us more notes, more motion. And here you have pattern presets for the kick, snare, and clap. Clap in trap music is used a little bit differently than in pop music. Typically, in pop music, you'd have the claps like right on the downbeats with the snare. In hip hop and rap music and trap music, typically the claps are almost like an auxiliary instrument that's used quite a bit in like the fills and stuff like that. So you're going to find that the clap and the snare are not always going to be on the same beat, especially if you're using this particular drummer. You can also set this up with or without crash cymbals. You can also set up with or without hi-hat, and there are different pattern presets for these as well. And it may still add some crashes on the downbeats, but with the cymbal in earlier, it was adding in a bunch of like open hi-hat type sounding things, which I didn't really want. And then there's like a drum, an extra tom, and then an additional auxiliary percussion that can be added as well. I'm not going to add those in for this particular beat. And just like the acoustic drummers, you can adjust the number of fills and the complexity of those fills. So essentially everything is a fill now. With this type of music, I like the fills to be kind of more simple. I want the groove to come through more so than anything. We don't need a million drum fills, you know, every like one per bar. I think that's a bit much. You can also add swing to the beat as well. Under details, just like with the session percussionist, you can adjust the complexity of each individual kit piece. You can adjust the variation of each kit piece. You can push or pull the feel, play with the dynamics, and humanize the beat as well. And then under manual, you can create your own custom kick and snare pattern if you like, just like with the other kits. So if I want something that's a little more standard, like 4 on the floor type thing, I could totally do that. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to just go back to the original pattern. And again, we'll be following the sub bass track here. Yeah, I don't like that one too much. Let's find something else here. Okay, so if that particular drum kit gets on your nerves, it does for me too, and it's mostly because of that hi-hat. So what you can do with any of the Drum Machine Designer kits is you can select any of the kit pieces and you can swap them out for another kit piece, or you can even drag and drop in your own sample, or you can fine-tune that particular kit piece on your own. So for example, if I selected that hi-hat and I went to pad controls, I could maybe pull up the pitch. I could make it have more attack, more transient. I could cut the high end. I could add reverb to it. You can adjust the volume. Or maybe I don't like this snare drum and I want to swap it out for another kit piece. You can do that too. All you got to do is open up your library, select that drum, and it's automatically going to navigate to the electronic drum kit folder. It's going to go to individual kit pieces. It's going to go to whatever instrument you selected, and then you can try out another one. Yeah, maybe you want something more like that, more like a standard electronic snare. Okay, that's a little too low tuned. Now, if you don't like that sample at all and you want to load in your own sample, you can actually do that as well. So let's say that I want to take this sample from Splice and I want to add it directly into Drum Machine Designer. It's very simple. You just drag and drop it right here on top of that sample pad, and it will replace that drum, that kit piece. And that same thing works for any of the kit pieces in Drum Machine Designer. You can fully customize your drum kit sound this way. Even though you're using a session player to generate the pattern, you can still customize the sound. And just like with the other session player regions, you can convert this to MIDI and then you can come in here and you can customize all of your beats. You can change the velocity or the note or the rhythm or the length of any of the notes in here. Okay, so that is how you can use the electronic drummers in Logic Pro 11. In the next video, we're going to move on to the bass session player. And as I'm demonstrating these, I'll also talk about how to use the chord track for the bass and keyboard session players to follow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. As always, thank you so much for the support, and thanks for watching.